Well, good afternoon. We are here to announce the Attorney General's Mortgage Fraud Strike Force, and I'm very proud to be here in Los Angeles, accompanied by the great mayor of Los Angeles, Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa. For too many Californians, what we call the American dream has turned into the American nightmare. Hopes for lasting homeownership have been dashed. Victims have fallen prey to a series of mortgage scams, fraud, and unfair business practices. These crimes have been perpetrated in boardrooms and brokers' offices. The impact has been heartbreaking. Homelessness, bankruptcy, and innocent families torn apart. The web of crime plays a significant role in throwing our nation and our state into economic turmoil. We cannot accept this as business as usual. In fact, I call it a crime. Just look at the numbers, for example. Nationwide, we've experienced an unprecedented housing crisis. In 2010, there were nearly 4 million foreclosure filings. California, as the biggest state in the country, was hit the hardest. Last year alone, there were nearly 550,000 foreclosure filings against California homes. And as a side, I'll share with you, that's greater than the population of 43 of our 58 counties. It is projected that between 2009 and 2012, 2 million California families will fall into the foreclosure process. And you can see over here that 5 out of the 10 hardest hit cities in the country are right here in California. Back when this crisis unfolded in 2009, while I was district attorney of San Francisco, I launched the first standalone mortgage fraud unit of a DA's office in the state. And in fact, we brought to California $1.1 million from the United States Department of Justice to address this issue. As Attorney General, it is a top priority for me, and has been so since I took office, so that in the first few weeks of taking office, I conducted an assessment of where we were in the state. And here's what I found. The California Department of Justice received thousands of complaints last year alone, all related to foreclosure scams, mortgage fraud, and mortgage servicing scams. As of today, the 23rd of May, 2.2 million Californians own more and owe more than their home is worth. Let me tell you, their distress and vulnerability is a very rich opportunity for predators. I've also met with attorneys general from around the country, and they've found the same patterns and practices of misconduct with respect to mortgage servicing. Let's be clear, this should not be simply thought of as a buyer beware issue. This is not about someone making a risky investment based on speculation. This is not about gold mining. These folks were simply trying to buy a place they could call home. And I would suggest that we should question whether it is the American dream to call that a high-risk investment. And this problem is not going away. There continues to be a need for accountability for those who prey on and trample the rights of consumers and investors. That is why today I am announcing the creation of the California Attorney General's Mortgage Fraud Strike Force. It is a new multi-divisional division in the Department of Justice designed to protect innocent homeowners and bring to justice those who would defraud them. This is the first such strike force in the history of the Department of Justice. And as California's real estate boom set a trend for the rest of the nation, so too will our policing of its dark side. I have established this strike force with initial deployment of 25 attorneys and investigators throughout our offices in California. The strike force is operating out of the Department of Justice offices here in Los Angeles, in Fresno, in San Francisco, and in Sacramento. Several of the members of the strike force are present today, including Michael Troncoso, who is my senior counsel, who will lead this strike force. And the strike force is organized into 3 teams, designed to reflect the consumer's perspective in this experience and in this process. First is the consumer enforcement team, which will take on the worst of the scams of the consumer arena, including predatory lending, unfair business practices, deceptive marketing and loan modification, and foreclosure scams. The second is the criminal enforcement team, which will prosecute criminal fraud associated with the epidemic of mortgage fraud. And finally, our corporate fraud team, which will tackle misconduct involving investments and securities involving subprime mortgages and any false or fraudulent claims made to the state with respect to these securities. As a career prosecutor, I believe there should be accountability and consequence for wrongdoing and crime. And it is for that reason we created this unit.